Welcome to our Zoom meeting. This is for the Healthy Heroes that to share with, oh, okay. Let's not play with that. Okay, so distraction here. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us with me and myself and with 4 other wonderful coaches for the Healthy Heroes. We are here to help you guys learn some tricks and tips on how to meal prep and to cook. And here is my little buddy, Evan. He's 5 years old and he's being super silly. So some of the little tools I have to make food prep fun are from Dollar Tree, Target, Amazon, thrift stores. So a lot of them are really doable. So like to make sandwiches for school because he won't eat. These are fun for him. And then silicone baking goodies are really nice to package the lunches and snacks, and it makes it really fun for them. Or you can also use your regular cookie cutters to make pretty cute shapes. Or even biscuit cutters around the house.
Love it.
You can also press your sandwiches together to make like an enclosed sandwich, and that's another fun way for the kids to eat. Or you can have like a crinkle cutter and make fun designs. All right, so some of the tools that I like to use to incorporate veggies are a spiralizer, a mandolin, and a food chopper just to sneak them in. Okay, let's not play with the knife, please. All right.
Put this away.
No, I need it. Thanks. Okay, so to make a lasagna, y'all can layer your veggies using a mandolin just to make thin strips of veggies.
Oh, that's cool.
Very cool. You can make little slices of your veggies and then just layer them, and you've got like a lasagna plate. You can also do the veggie spiraler. I know a lot of you guys like spaghetti squash or zoodles. So this is a fun way to incorporate veggies. You can pour your favorite sauce on top and you can't tell. So all you have to do is just turn, and then you've got zoodles.
Is that a zucchini, Grace? Is that just a green zucchini?
Yeah. You can use a lot of different, with this particular brand, you can do a lot of different veggies and fruits and things
You
like
made
that.
it look so easy. I threw mine away.
So yeah, find a
I don't own one.
I should have
Sorry,
given
I got
mine.
the dog barking and then
No.
my son is just hyper right now. Okay, hush. You're my son. Okay. So, thank you. That's it. Okay, another way is to really cut your food really fine
Watching.
so that you can sneak it into your sauces. And I love the food chopper because that's what I've done with my spaghetti sauce. They didn't know. So you just hit here, you can do this. Here, chop it. With the food chopper. My dog's gonna start barking. So just chop it really fine, and then just let it saute. Incorporate that into your sauce. Yeah. It gets really small. All right. So now we're gonna make veggie fries. Okay. Thanks, honey. Okay, let's not be so silly. Because I'm a little too silly. Stop. I've got some zucchini that's already been cut up into matchstick sizes, and we are going to make fries. Stop, Evan. Don't be so silly. So to make this simpler for us, I've got a bag of flour, and it's seasoned with some salt. And then we're just going to dump this in here. Right? You want to help me dump this?
Yeah.
And then also having kid-sized tools are nice for them too. It makes it fun for them. All right, go ahead. A lot. Come on. Shake it. Come on, put it in. So once we get this coated, we are going to dump the excess flour off, and then we're gonna spritz it with some oil and then just bake it. Bake it at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes or so, and then it's just a nice way to eat fries and incorporate veggies in there. If you have an air fryer, it's even better. And then to make a sauce that accompanies this, it calls for mayonnaise, but if you mix it with Greek yogurt, it tastes just the same. So just give it a little shake. What are you doing?
I'm squished.
So we're just coating this, and then we're gonna dump Evan. Okay. Okay. Pause.
Okay, we're making a mess.
Yes, we are making a mess. All right. So all we have to do is just bake it. And then we've got veggie fries for the kids. You can pair it with homemade chicken nuggets. So to make homemade chicken nuggets, all you have to do is just get your chicken tenders,
Oh my,
season it
this feels soft.
with your
Mine,
favorite seasoning,
This
and then
feels
dredge
soft.
it in flour.
This feels soft.
Yes. Dredge it in flour, dip it in your egg, and then
You eat it.
you dip it in panko. We like panko
Then you eat it.
because it gives it a crunchier texture. And then you spritz it again with your oil, and then just put it in the oven. So it's a lot healthier than the pre-made chicken nuggets. And so hopefully those are some.
I got on my feet.
Hopefully those are some extra tips. So Norma, you want to take over?
That's awesome.
I don't have any fun kids, but I'll
Get
try.
Weston to go run around. Come on, what's he doing?
Could happen before it's all over with, but hopefully
Right.
he has on and not just underwear.
That's awesome.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a veggie stir fry, and this is really a staple, like a standby that in our house for veggies because it's just so easy, and even like someone who I call myself a handicapped cook, even someone like myself can pull it off. And then you can pair it with lots of other things. I've been like in this mindset of putting together like a bowl, like, you know, like Chipotle bowl or whatever, Chipotle, however you say it. So once I tell you how to do this, I'm going to talk about how to put it together with other foods so that you can make a meal out of it and you're not just like, okay, I have veggies and what now? So I have my favorite pan. This is my Cuisinart stainless steel. I usually use avocado oil, but I'm out of it, heaven forbid. But I'm gonna use some coconut oil tonight. It's just organic coconut oil. I've already melted it in the pan. So you want quite a bit of oil because it's like a stir fry, but not like that, you know, just kind of melted to the bottom. So the first thing I did was I used the same chopper that Grace had. Aren't you proud of me? And I chopped up my onions. So I love purple onions, red onion, whatever you call it. And the good thing about the onions is you can A, leave it out if you want, or B, chop them or as fine as you like. So like if you're not a big onion person, you could use fewer onions and chop them a little finer so that they kind of get lost in the stir fry. But I really like onions, so I'm making mine pretty chunky, as you can see, and I'm gonna put those in. So I'm gonna turn that on, and then I'll talk to you about the veggies while that is cooking. Sorry, it's gonna fall to the bottom, but you get it, onions and oil. So I'm gonna let those be cooking a little bit, and then I'll talk to you about what I'm doing with my veggies. So I typically buy frozen vegetables, frozen organic. They're really the most cost effective. They're the least amount of work, I think. And so I used some organic broccoli cuts. This is just bag of, this is from Costco, so it's just organic. You can see all the different veggies in there. This is a good visual. The bag is so big.
Awesome.
Okay, you get the idea of all the veggies, but you can use whatever veggies you want for this, but this is just this one. So what I did was I used a food processor because they're frozen. So I used a food processor and I just like chopped them all up pretty small like this. So as soon as these onions start to cook a little bit, I'm just gonna put those veggies right in here, and then I'm gonna season them. So let me talk to you a little bit about seasoning. Guys, you can go whichever way you want with this. One of my daughter's favorite seasonings right now is, I don't know if you can see that, Cajun seasoning. It's organic Cajun seasoning. I'm not going to put that in here, but that's one of her favorites right now, and she puts it on everything, even spaghetti. So that's something to think about. I always use my Himalayan salt, always. So I can go ahead and start to season my veggies in the bowl. And then one of my really favorite ones is Tony Sackers. This is easy. It has like a ton of seasonings in there already. And you can do that. And then of course, pepper. So these are almost there. And then we'll add the veggies. Literally after that, you're just stir frying the veggies in with the onions to your desired tenderness. I like my stuff pretty mushy, but you know, it's up to you. If you still like a little bit of crunch in there, then just cook it accordingly. So let's talk about pairing it up with things. First of all, let me ask you if you have any questions. And is the volume okay?
Yeah, volume's good. How do you always plan your meals in a stir fry method where you're cooking your veggies, or do you just kind of ad lib while you're in the kitchen? Do you just plan it this way?
It just depends on like what I'm having. So like I really love zucchini and squash also. And I do those two different ways. One is just like this. I'll just cube them up and just do just like this. And then the other is I'll cube them up and then cube my onions, put some avocado oil and seasoning, and I'll roast them at 375 for like 20 to 30 minutes. They're like candy. They're so good. Those are my two favorite. And then I make like I do stir fry a lot. I stir fry green beans, like the big, the frozen green beans and stuff, and put garlic. Those are so good. So
do you just play around with seasoning? Like you could have like an Asian favorite Mexican, you could just change it with whatever the season you use. That's smart.
Exactly. So you could even do this with just straight up cauliflower rice. I mean, that would be super easy as well. I mean, I just try to tell people according to, how I like to cook, because it's what I know best. And it's what has helped me with my, getting more veggies in and speaking to my time, constraints and stuff like that. So I'll let that cook just a little bit more. But one of the things that my family really likes is this jasmine. I don't know how to say it. Mahatma rice. So I make this in the Instapot. It's so easy. There's literally a rice button on the Instapot. I almost cried when my Instapot broke the other day, but we're back in business and almost right with the world. So I'll make that rice, and then I see Grace had her portion containers out, and I absolutely use my portion containers. So like, say I made some rice, and I would use my yellow container for that. And then I would use my green container for this. The amazing thing is this looks like a ton of food, but when you put it in your green container, it's a lot, you know, it's a lot in your green container is my point. But the other thing that you can add to this, if you're trying to stay along the lines of plant-based, is black beans. Black beans are amazing with this. You could put this in with a little bit of rice, some black beans, and this. I've also been known to just like, okay, my standby rotisserie chicken, or if I always tell people, if you yourself, or you have a husband or whatever that loves to grill, I get this huge thing of chicken ready and I season it all and I'm like, get out there on the grill. And then you have leftovers, chop it up or shred it up or just eat it like it is the next day. So with that said, I could use either some of my rotisserie chicken or some of my leftover grilled chicken off the grill tomorrow for lunch and just stir that all up. And you've got this veggie, chicken, maybe rice, maybe beans bowl. Layered if you want to be fancy, like Chipotle, go ahead. If not, stir it all together like weirdos like me. But you can get you can see how you can easily get all of your food groups in one bowl just by thinking. I think like in compartments, and that's why I have a hard time with recipes, I think, because it's just like all, you know, and you're layering and you're doing, and I'm like, no. But so I just think, okay, veggies. That's why the containers work so good for me. But veggies and maybe some. Oh, another thing that is good with this is sweet potatoes. So the way I make my sweet potatoes is, you guessed it, roast them. So I just cut them up, cube them up, add some avocado oil, add some seasoning, roast them 400 degrees for 35, 40 minutes. Again, I like them kind of soft, and you can have that on the side. You just always want to be cognizant of your carbs to veggie ratio. And then, you know, if you're going to add in some legumes or whatever, you have to kind of figure out how you're going to count your legumes according to if you're going to count those as carbs or if you're going to count those also as protein, depending on the way you eat. So
Very good.
that is my stir fry. And I can't even eat it tonight.
Poor thing. That's not cool.
It smells really good.
Yes.
So why can't you eat it tonight, Norma?
I am on clear liquids today and fixing to start colon prep for tomorrow.
What prep?
Colon. I have
Oh.
Just what you want to talk about while you're cooking.
Sorry. I thought maybe you were doing some reset, something, detox, some fancy whatever.
Taking care of business. Take care of her health. Getting her doctor's appointments in.
crazy thing is like when they're telling us what you can have today, which was supposed to be all clears day, they list coffee. I'm like, coffee's not clears. And it's just like all the jellos, which are like disgusting. And I forget what else. It was like, oh, popsicles. I'm like, oh yes, I'm gonna have some popsicles today.
20 degrees here. Oh, that's awesome.
Popsicles.
Well, I thought that was really good, Norma. One thing I will say for those that there's 2 nutritional plans in Beachbody. There's the Ultimate Portion Fix, and then there's the 2B Mindset. So interesting, when I'm watching you, the 2B Mindset is very similar, where you start with veggies as your base. The difference is at night at dinner, we do not have what she calls fiber-filled carbs. So the sweet potato would not be allowed. But I will tell you, my secret to sweet potatoes is to cut them up and do the same thing, but I use coconut oil and sea salt. It's like candy. It's ridiculous. I have to put them away. I call it crack because I will eat too much of it. So if you want a healthy, sweet, salty, it's ridiculous. But I can only have those for breakfast or lunchtime. So just a tidbit. If you are in that program, I know Grace is on it. So Grace, how do you handle not eating the fiber-filled carbs at night, especially being a mama with kids that probably are?
I think I've gotten used to it. I do a lot of soups. I like soups, and so
Yeah.
that helps me get full fast. And they like rice, and so I just have to know that I can't have it at night.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely eat it for lunch
Nice.
or pasta.
Yeah.
I can't have it at night, so the zucchini squash is really good, and that just helps me.
Yes, same. Very cool.
When you were talking about the sweet potatoes, Tiffany, I'm not fancy at all. I throw them in the oven completely whole because I don't know, a long time ago, a physician told me eating your vegetables with the peel on can render more nutrition than eating the inside. So I've always had that in the back of my mind. So I'll bake like 6 a week and I call them nature's brownie. I'll eat them cold out of the fridge. It is the weirdest thing in the world, but I've been doing it for 2 years now. The kids are like, "What's that, Mom?" Because I don't know, it just does not at all look appetizing, but it is.
No, it doesn't. They sound weird, but they are so good. Oh my God.
Yes, and I add them to. They're a staple for like when I make stew now. I will chop them up just like I would with any of my other vegetables. And another vegetable I guess turned towards is parsnips.
Oh, yeah.
Something that my grandmother has a lot of recipes with. My mom and dad never cooked a thing with it, but I have found the kids and I love it. We call it carrot's sister.
Yeah,
And they'll eat it raw with me.
you should try turnips then. I make turnip fries that are off the wall. They're so good. And they're very low glycemic, so you can have them at nighttime. So if you want a hamburger, I'd eat like a hamburger salad with turnip fries on the side. And you don't even feel like you're losing anything. So I wanted to make sure that people got it. Grace, we were a little distracted, poor little guy, but for you and Norma, I guess for the group, you know, just making sure that we're hitting home on, like, how do you plan for it? Do you plan it the first of the month what you're going to eat? Do you go into Costco and buy in bulk? Do you buy fresh? Norma mentioned like the frozen or the pre-cut. Like, how do you also make it easy? I know you got some gadgets, but what are things that are like we could share as like a nice life hack?
I do a lot of frozen vegetables because I don't have time to wash and prep. And I had an awful experience with some critters in my cauliflower. So I just prefer frozen veggies. That, or I'll buy a big, multiple boxes of spinach. And if I have too many, I'll freeze them. And I'll put paper towels inside the bags just to help keep it dry so it doesn't get bad fast. But we do a lot of bulk at Costco. And I don't really plan ahead. Because the kids help me plan what they want to eat.
Yep.
And I just try to incorporate more veggies. And I take a lot also with my Pampered Chef stuff where we have the the powdered nutrition that I add to their food. But smoothies, if I can get them to drink the smoothies, we add the spinach, we add the yogurt, we add the frozen fruits, and they drink it.
Nice. What about you, Norma? Do you do like weekly planning, monthly? I know I've seen you do some food prep to kind of get your stuff done if you're not buying frozen. Is that something you still do?
Yeah, so I buy weekly. I do go to Costco like probably twice a month, and I stock up on those kind of things. But the things that I like to buy fresh and probably weekly are, of course, all my fruits, and then my sweet potatoes and zucchini and squash. I do like to get that fresh. Costco actually has it fresh, but they have it organic in a pretty big bag. I be careful. If my oldest daughter is not home, that will not get eaten and it will go bad. Like I can only eat so much by myself in a week or so.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then I just go to like, HEB or Kroger and get between 2 and 4 at a time and cook those. I always keep onions on hand. So I just sort of take inventory every week and see what I've got. I'm like, okay, what do I have for vegetables this week? And I just try to keep like 4 to 5 different varieties since I'm eating 4 servings of vegetables per day. I mean, you have to have some variety. I don't mind eating the same vegetable a couple times a day, but not 4. And I would think that probably everybody would feel the same. Then, and aside from what I cook for vegetables, I always try to keep finger vegetables or grab and go, like I like to call them, because of my work environment. And then if I'm not working, a lot of times I'm on the go anyway. So it's like, what can I put in a baggie or a container and be able to just like reach in and take bites out of without having to worry about whether or not it's cooked, whether or not it needs to be heated in the microwave. And those things end up being baby carrots for me. And so I buy like large bags of baby carrots, and then my daughters like those too. So yes. So I will take that bag and portion out smaller bags. Frugal Fanny here, but in that way they're grab and go. The other thing I like are cherry tomatoes. Those are super easy. I'll even put a little pink Himalayan salt in the baggie just to make sure they're tasty, and I have a little seasoning.
Nice.
And then as far as spinach goes, if I can, I just hide spinach wherever I possibly can. For having a salad, I toss in spinach. If I'm eating eggs, I toss in spinach. If I'm having, I don't always put it in my shake, but sometimes I do. So spinach, and then I get the cauliflower rice frozen, and I put that usually in my shake. So I just try to think, okay, what is my life going to look like this week? Am I going to need more grab and goes, or am I going to be around the house more? Could I possibly cook and prep for that? So just probably a week in advance would be my answer.
What about, like, we're all Beachbody coaches. Does anybody watch the Fixate or the To Be Mindset recipes and the videos and Fixate to get ideas? Because I think it's a great one for me. I was just curious what you guys thought.
I do. That kind of ties into how I plan, I guess, my weeks. I shop weekly, but I typically have like a running list of like what the kids actually will eat. I let them each pick a meal, and then my husband and I each get our favorite meal, and kind of that's how I plan my week. But we try to also have one day where there is a new thing, like a new recipe I found on, Pinterest, or we watch the Fixate things. One of the Fixates is the ranch. I can't keep it made fresh in the fridge. My kids, it's our favorite salad dressing. I'll put it over my rotisserie chicken from the local grocery store. Just in, throw it in a wrap or put it on top of the salad. But having like a concrete thing that I know my kids will eat, and then I try to figure out how to slip in vegetables. A lot of the time. They're really good about eating them. My little one, he's just turned 6, and he's skin and bones. Don't know how, because I think he only lives on buttered noodles. But and carrots and peppers. He'll eat 3 red peppers in one day. But he doesn't prefer meat, and the doctor says he's healthy the way he is, and eventually he'll come around. But the other 2 will eat a salad with me almost every single night at dinner. So that makes it very easy. I still cook a lot like Grace did and Norma, but I just pick their favorite vegetables and put it in the salad too. Like it's not just lettuce, it's fun. And I let them cut up their celery. I let them cut up their peppers, and the carrots. I have that, the crinkle cutter that you showed, Grace. I know I have everything that you have probably, but it's like all old because I bought it all when I was like 14 years old and loved cooking.
Can have a party with Grace. That's awesome.
But they love to cut with that, and it's not necessarily like a knife to cutting board. And I taught them, just like rock that thing and it will cut, and then it's a cool shape too in their salad, and they feel part of the dinner. And I guess that's a way that I try to keep my kids involved. But we pick different recipes on Fixate a lot.
That's nice.
They don't always love it. There's some of that I've made multiple times. I think it's a turkey little like meatloaf that was just recent.
Yeah.
And we got that. That was good. I think it was even maybe an Instapot, or I don't know. Maybe I'm meshing recipes, but.
Well, that's good. That's good that you're using that. I mean, I've gotten more. I'm doing it more now that I'm home a lot. Just because I do cook a lot like Norma, where I start with veggies, and honestly, if Randy was listening, he does most cooking, so I shouldn't be complaining, but I get bored. Like, I don't want to eat the same thing all the time. So I'm always looking for new things. They're not always a win. I heard you, but I'm willing to try. Everybody else is like, oh, I don't know. What about you, Amber? How do you plan, or do you use some of the tools that are in our toolkit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I will use the nutrition center for sure to help with the meal plan. I really like the guided meal plan. Kind of gives me an idea of what to make or what to have. My son's not big on leftovers. He refuses, but we're big on leftovers too. So I like to plan meals that I know is at least going to be another meal the next day or 2 days from then, because it just makes it easier for the week. We're all home during the day too, all of us. So like a lot of times my husband will eat a lunch that was our meal, and then we're not having to cook lunch too, because there are some days, you feel like you're in the kitchen, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you're just so. But before I was working from home, and even before I was traveling, because you do get a little bit of a break when you're traveling, I would every Sunday. So my Saturday was my meal planning day, and then I would go to Costco and the grocery store and, have it all. And Sunday was my prep day. And so everything would get chopped. If it was a recipe that was able to be assembled, I would go ahead and assemble it, because, I was in healthcare too, and we worked I worked either 8 to 5 or 9 to 6. So 5 days a week. So, get up, get the kids out, get to work, come home. And then especially when I started working out, I had to have something that I could have in the oven while I was working out. Because then homework gets started, and by the time I'm finished my workout, then we could actually have a dinner. Or a crock pot. Instapots really weren't real popular way back, but essentially it was a crock pot. So my Sundays and it did get hard to spend 2 or 3 hours in the kitchen every Sunday, but it set me up for success that entire week. And I really think that once I made the commitment to my health and my eating and our family's eating, that set me up for success. If I had not have done that and just did it, we would have still struggled in the nutrition department. And I know that it would have been a lot harder to meet my goals.
It's true. I mean, just listening to all of you, it's like we have to make a conscious choice, whether it be daily or weekly, or maybe you plan a month or whatever, but we don't leave caution to the wind. We don't just be like, well, we'll wing it. Now I have had to wing meals, but it sounds like all of us are at least stocking our house with choices.
Yes.
So, I think that's where, at least before I started really being aware, was the things that were convenient were in my pantry. right? So they're not fresh. And then I'd go into like my refrigerator and there'd be like junk I wasn't supposed to eat. So I think it's, even if you don't know what you're making, I love Norma's idea. Just start with, sauteing some onions and getting creative and start throwing things in. But at least she's starting with so much.
Mhm.
Even if she ended with the roll at the end, doesn't matter because she eats so well. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Right. Do we have any questions? Let's see anything.
I didn't see anything. I was just kind of trying to commentate the.
I see that. I like that. Looks good.
It's just,
Um,
you
Well,
know,
what else you got, ladies? What you got over there, Norma? Looks like you got.
I know that some of you follow the recipes, and that especially when I'm tired and stuff, that just like intimidates me just a little bit too much. Unless I've made it a few times, then I'm like, I can do it. Like I can whip this up. But I keep my food list printed out. And I know that some of you do 2B, but I do the UPF, and I keep my food list printed out all the time. And so that's why I'm like, okay, oh my gosh, I need a veggie. And I look down, oh, I forgot about, peppers. I've got peppers, or okra, eggplant. So I try to, when I'm getting sick of things, I try to refer back to my food list and, try to get some variety in there, but still I'm staying in my area,
There's a lot of choices. It's not like you're limited. That's the thing I hope nobody hears. It's not like we can only eat 5 things. There's hundreds. It's a combination that keeps it fresh and fun.
Yeah, I made a chicken pot pie the other day that with crust. I mean, it wasn't a crustless, it was with crust. It was on the Fix8, and it wasn't as pretty as hers. I can promise you that. But it did taste it. I was kind of surprised. I thought it might have been one of those peanut butter jelly nights for my husband too, Norma. But it was, but it worked out. I mean, it really did. So it's another one of our favorites is Cubano sandwiches. So it's on Fix8 too. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So but I don't know. There's a Netflix series, Jane the Virgin, and we absolutely loved the series, and they ate Cubano sandwiches, and we're like, what is that? And then I saw it on Fix8, and they're so yummy. And I felt like I was actually eating bread, like illegal bread, but it was legal because I had my whole day of nutrition was still in line.
Yeah.
I didn't eat, Fruit Loops for breakfast, and then some white breaded yucky something at lunch. I was able to, so I think that's what so I'm glad Tiffany brought that up, because there are no restrictions. Like I'm eating foods that I would have told you before, there's no way you're allowed to eat that.
Yeah. I think that's something so important if you're just watching this later, is there's really nothing that's not on our list, including like, I don't know, a chocolate bar or wine. They're all there. It's all in how and when you eat it and being aware, which is cool because it is food freedom.
Moderation.
For those of you that have ever thought about restriction, this is not about restriction. It's about balance and learning how to eat best for you. And so what these ladies have proven is that they figured out the magic, the planning, the shopping, the cutting, the prepping, all that kind of stuff, and then variety. There are some people, I don't know if you've met them, that they will eat the same thing every day. I couldn't do it. There are things I like more than other, but then I would be sick of it. But then, a lot of us like a lot of variety. I thought it'd be fun to say, what does everybody eat for breakfast on the regular? What's like their one mainstay breakfast for themselves? Grace, what do you have?
Shakeology.
Shakeology, yep. Heather.
Shakeology, and often recovery mixed.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I don't really like to work out with any food in my belly.
Yep.
So I will then eat like exactly after
But it makes the Shakeology so fluffy. You can eat it with a spoon. It's like, oh, it's so
Yeah.
good. I love
And
it.
I usually add a half a frozen banana, a half a container of frozen spinach, half of the cauliflower, and then sometimes it's even another type of fruit. And I'm like
You're
full, like there's no morning snack when I do my big one. There's no need. I'm like, do I even need to eat lunch? But I need to eat lunch because then I'll be drop dead at 2:00. But yeah, it's Shakeology, and it's been that. Even did, so had drank Shakeology when I was nursing with my youngest, being given samples from a coach, and it was my breakfast then. And then I tried to just make it myself, and it didn't work. And then became back to Shakeology. So it's been a staple at my house for a while.
I love it. Love it. Norman, what about you? What's your normal breakfast?
Well, on the days that I work, it's Shakeology. I like vegan vanilla. I put in a third of a banana, either frozen cherries or frozen blueberries or frozen mango and pineapple, and then cauliflower rice, and water. I think that's it. It fills me up for
Hour.
3 or 4 hours.
Nice.
If I'm at home, then I drink my shake in the afternoon. And for breakfast, I have 2 eggs with some kind of either leftover veggie or spinach. And I have either a piece of Dave's bread, Dave's or I make oatmeal in the Instapot, and then I portion that out, and I'll have a yellow container of oatmeal with a tablespoon of peanut butter.
Ooh, I love peanut butter and oatmeal. Is that yummy? That sounds crazy.
Sounds really yummy.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
because when I was a kid, I used to add butter and sugar and brown sugar, and I was like, so then whenever I was doing, started doing this, I'm like, what am I going to add to my oatmeal? Making this.
Yeah, that sounds good though. Yeah.
That idea from another coach. She was like, add peanut butter, your life will be changed. And
That's awesome. What about Amber? What do you have for breakfast typically?
So I'm one of those that eats the same thing every day if I can, because it's easy. So, and I'm not a big
Eat fun of my
easy-
hangers. Just saying.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's not that I don't for dinner, but for breakfast and lunch, I'm just like, golly, I don't have to think about it. So, most of the time, my breakfast is the slow cooker sausage, the slow cooker fixate sausage with eggs and grits.
Ooh.
So it makes 4 servings, and the 2 that are still at home, my husband and my son, they don't like grits, so I don't have to worry about them eating it. So I put it on at night on Sundays before I go to bed, and then that way it's because it's an 8-hour thing. So I have it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or I may skip. And then my lunch is most of the time always my Shakeology with my Recover, and then I'll throw in a banana and spinach. And
Nice.
today we had White Russians, right, Tiff? So today we made White Russian Shakeologies, which were amazing. There was no alcohol, but
I
we
would.
could put it in.
Yeah, it was so
And
good.
but it was really good. So yeah, I mean, I'm a again, like I don't have to think about it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I do. I do some intermittent fasting with my To Be Mindset. So I usually eat somewhere between say 10:30 and noon. That's usually my first meal. And I'm like you, Heather, I work out on an empty stomach, but it's usually I either do recovery, slam it, and then have a Shakeology if I need a lot of extra fluid, like if I need to drink more water. But yeah, it's Shakeology. I was actually talking to somebody earlier today about it. When I first started, I needed to volume eat. And so it's okay to do that too. So I had Shakeology and I'd have like a piece of peanut butter toast or a boiled egg or something. So I never feel like you can't. Now I just don't need it as much, probably because I don't have as much weight on me. But it's true. That's funny. And for me, lunch is like a bag salad and like a tuna pack. I love the jalapeno tuna or like leftover chicken and leftovers. Now that I'm home, I'm like your husband. I eat whatever we had for dinner is pretty much what I'm going to have for lunch.
Mhm.
So it does make it easy.
I'll
Nice.
tell you the cauliflower nachos that I made for Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it ended up so the next, because you know when they first come out of the oven, they're kind of crispy.
Yeah.
But then it's not something that you would
Oh.
reheat; they would be crispy. But I just ended up making it cauliflower mash. So it was my nachos, but it was more like a mash, and so
Nice.
it was the side with our dinner, and then I ended up putting it in my eggs and just kind of.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a hack, and Norma, just close your ears because I don't eat as clean as some of y'all. Like I have to have a balance in my household. So one of the things they really like that we have not given up is Cracker Barrel mac and cheese. Comes in a box with the plastic cheese. It's insanely good. Randy will buy that pack just for me and get a big bag of cauliflower, microwave it, steam it, whatever, and then pour the cheese on top. And I get the whole thing to myself. So they all get a serving of mac and cheese, and I get a bowl of it. So when I'm splurging, that is my go-to because it is so good. And you don't miss the noodles.
And feel good about it.
Yeah, because it's all veggies, which is, because you'll hear me say this, and Lana says nobody ever gets fat off sauces and dressings. So stop it. Stop worrying about it. Just eat those veggies. So
That's right.
yeah. But anyways, I hope we've only got a few minutes left. I hope that this, if you're watching it later, it looked like we had some guests join earlier, that this was helpful and gives you some ideas. And none of us are professing to be chefs. Didn't sound like. Maybe Grace, you might be the closest. We're all just here trying to survive and not be bored with our food and be healthy. So I think I was impressed. I learned a lot from y'all. So good job.
I like I was just hearing y'all talking about the sweet potatoes in the morning. If I made a slew of sweet potatoes roasted, I will eat that with my breakfast as well. So
Yeah.
I just have to be really careful just knowing my tendencies because I, like many,
Yeah.
I eat carbs. I think to myself, what did I used to eat for breakfast?
Bagel.
Wonder I was had stomach problems all the time. I literally had sugar, carbs, and dairy for breakfast. I had sugary cereal with milk on it. And I'm talking, I don't just stop with one bowl. I'm going 2 and 3 bowls at a time. And then I'm in the bathroom. Oh my God, my stomach.
I can't even imagine you eat 3 bowls of cereal. It makes me laugh.
So bad.
Gosh. Well, it's true.
That's my husband. I've been talking about how if we could stand the stomach ache, and I can't even tell you last time we've had McDonald's. There's no way. But if we could stand the stomach ache, we would both go get a Big Mac. It was because there is just, but that burger bowl that Fix8 has is really yummy, and they have the homemade sauce, which is like the Big Mac sauce, and we love it. We eat it a lot, and it's easy. That's a super simple something to throw together. But there's still just something about that really gross, yucky Big Mac.
I grew up on those things.
I did too.
And the McDonald's opened up in my town when I was a little kid. It's like a In-N-Out burger. People were lined up all over, oh, we're getting McDonald's. Yeah. So very cool. Well, hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, we'll post it. As always, we have questions. They'll reach out to us. Thank you, ladies.
All right.
Tell Evan, good job. He got his little debut.
That's right.
Bye, y'all. Have a good day or good night.
Bye.
Bye.